Marcello! What is it? What are you doing? Holding a bazooka! Mamma mia, Marcello! That's not how you hold a bazooka! What do you mean? This is how you hold a bazooka! Alberto! Come and look at Marcello!
Hi guys, it's Hyder here. I just came from work, it's really late for me, almost midnight, and I'm still wearing the t-shirt, the torn t-shirt I've been wearing to my work. And I'm recording this video because BHVR have released the March developer update with a lot of changes coming to the PTB the next week already. I guess that will be Monday for everyone. And those are significant. They're huge and we need to discuss them. Let's start with the ones that are easier on the community and that are more welcome probably. First, the Bloodweb improvements. There are 3 changes that make our life with spending blood points much easier. First one has been teased, I won't be explaining it. That's the momentary blood point spent on a level. You just press a button and, well, the rest was shown and teased by behavior. Second one, I like much more. That's not automatic purchase, but that's press to buy. When you can press a certain node inside the Bloodweb, and every node before that node and the one you pressed will be bought using your blood points. However, those nodes can be consumed by the entity, which I find stupid. Finally, the last change is easy. That's actually what you can call press to buy, not what I just did. No more do we need to press and hold the nodes to buy them. We just click on them and that's it. That's done. Amazing. Chef's kiss. So next is Visual Terror Radius. That's a feature that has been in Dead by Daylight Mobile for forever, probably, which is a glowing red heart inside the survivor model when a survivor is inside the killer's terror radius. This heart glows brighter and brighter and becomes bigger the closer you are to the killer. And this is an optional change made for people with tough hearing or complete deafness. This is an optional change again, it can be switched on and off, it's off by default, it's toned to color blindness modes, and I love it. It's just sweet. I have people in my Russian community who actually have troubles with hearing, and that's just for them. For that reason, I love this. I really love that. This is all with the quality of life updates. Now we move to map updates. And the maps that will be updated in this PTB are 2 of the 3 most problematic Autohaven maps, Blood Lodge and Guess Heaven. Let's go with a patch note and talk about Blood Lodge. That's a big map, which is a double-edged sword. It can either spawn as an insane map for survivors or as a complete dead zone, which will give the killer the easiest time of their lives. This is a problem, and behavior are addressing that by first moving the main building to the center of the map, and second, changing the placements of the jungle gyms and other textures, maze tiles, in a way so that it is all more even on the map and less straightforward line of sights are on this map. This might be bad for killers like Huntress, maybe NERFS, but this is a good change for stealth killers, which are the weaker ones. That's why I like it. However, as I understood, the size of the map isn't changing, that I don't like. Same thing happens with Guess Heaven. Its main is also being moved to the middle of the map and adjusted with spawns of pellets and stuff like that, in a way so that nothing extremely powerful spawns there. However, knowing behavior, we will have to check this out on the PTB and probably cry a river for them to do something about it. But honestly, Guess Heaven isn't really the hugest map of all. Or I could say that if there weren't those huge car tiles, just straight up walls blocking the path between small areas, making the map much bigger unless you're NERFS. Again NERFS, my god. And Behavior realized the problem, acknowledged it, and they will be changing those tiles. These huge walls will be now divided into separate parts with paths in between them. However, to not create dead zones out of these cards, Behavior will be adding pallets there. Is that a good thing? Well, if this becomes like a filler pallet, that's okay, probably. This still will be a strong filler pallet, more like a godlike one. However, if those pellets, which I think is much more probable, turn out to be god pellets like on Gideon Midplant, this map might become even tougher for killers, which is not good at all. However, the map changes we will have to see on the PTB this Monday. And now with that we have actually ended with less controversial changes, and we are coming to the actual balance changes. These have driven a lot of people on our Discord community safe space nuts, straight up nuts. And we start with the one that has driven their survivors much more so than killers. However, I understand why, because this is a complete nerf of all the healing in the game. Honestly, as a killer main, I don't think that what Behavior have done is really that necessary. So, healing is the problem, and a huge part of that problem is medkits. There are 4 of them, each of them can have 3 heals at least, and if you really push it all the way forward, you can get up to 16 heals if you get a specific build for that. That's something that shouldn't be worked. Also, we have syringes, we have styptics, extremely powerful add-ons for the medkits, which are already insanely meta. And this creates a terrible situation for killers that just can't keep up with so much healing. Unless you're a plague main like me, you are in trouble when you see 4 medkits. Behavior are fixing all of that. First, they increase the base time needed to heal someone or heal yourself with a medkit by 8 seconds to 24 instead of current 16 seconds. This in itself is not that good of a change, because people should probably not need almost half a minute to heal. That's too much. People need to play the game actually, rather than heal all the time or sit on the gens all the time. I don't like it that much. But more to that, they are nerfing the medkits. All of them now only have 24 charges, which is enough for 1 heal only. And they are adjusting all of the healing speeds for the medkits. None of them will now heal you faster, only your teammates, except for the Ranger medkit, the purple one, which still will increase your healing speed through skill checks, which is kinda nice. It should have been the powerful medkit actually, and it will be now the strongest, I guess. But that's not all, they are also changing the add-ons. The first important part with add-ons is that now only 2 heals max can be gained from any medkit in the game. And so, probably this means that syringe will be dead, probably styptic will be as well, and the gels will also be dead. Just because it has to happen. But that's not all. The one thing that actually gives a lot of heal, infinite self-heal actually, is Circle of Healing, and Behavior are nerfing that as well. Circle of Healing gets some additional benefits which are not important, because the important part is that this perk now will not let you heal by yourself without a medkit, or without self-care perk. You know, I don't like this change. I'm a killer main, and I don't like this change, because the problem with Boon Circle of Healing is not the healing part, it's the boon part. This mechanic, making survivors have an endless resource in the game, is not okay. And actually, I've been screaming about that for, I don't remember, for all eternity since Circle of Healing came to live servers. It is standing out due to its powerful effects, but this effect is much more stronger due to the way the boons work. And for now, we are only waiting for a new insane boon to appear, for everything to get into the Circle of Healing place again. And for now, Circle of Healing is actually dying. I don't like it. Overall, those changes, you could divide them into three. Killing Circle of Healing is probably a nice thing. Nerfing medkits is an amazing thing. That should have been done, as pointed out by Odzarva a lot. Reducing base kit healing speed is not okay, and combining those three things together is way too much. I, as a killer main, understand that, and I don't like those changes. Really, too much of them. Leave just the medkits. Okay, leave Circle of Healing as well. Let us see what happens then, and only then should you touch the base kit healing speed. This is nuts. But that's not all. That's not all. We have the perk updates. There are plenty of them, and to tell you the truth, only two of them are buffs. And those buffs aren't good. First one is Gearhead. Gearhead now requires from a survivor to pass a good skill check instead of a perfect one, which is a buff, technically, yes, I guess it's a buff, okay. And the second one is Overzealous. First, Overzealous will now activate when blessing a totem, in addition to cleansing. Also, the bonus to everything it speeds up is now 10% instead of 8%. Is that enough? I mean, technically that's again a buff. Everything else is nerfs. So this whole patch note is about nerfing stuff a lot, hammering it down. Not good, not good, don't do that behavior, please don't do it. And so let's get into it. First, let's finish off with the survivors. There is one perk that is going to be changed, and that's, you guessed it, Dead Hard. Dead Hard is a problematic perk, especially for certain killers like Huntress, like Wesker. Actually, it's the number one reason why I don't like playing Wesker. It feels so terribly wrong when you do a perfect hit and Dead Hard. It's just cruel to my heart. I don't like it. So yeah, reworking Dead Hard is a nice thing. Too much second chances for survivors. But the way they are reworking the Dead Hard is... it's cruel, it's cruel. This shouldn't work like that. So, Dead Hard will now activate after safely unhooking a survivor. And when activated, you can press the ability button, la 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 la, the same exact perk, except for when it saves you from a hit, it deactivates until you unhook another survivor. Why do I say that this is bad? Because the one thing we all understand is that tunneling is everywhere in Dead by Daylight right now. Because there is nothing more effective to decreasing the gen flying speed, helping yourself, than just killing a survivor as early as possible. And the Dead Hard, in a way they are changing it, will not prevent that. Actually, the person most likely to get tunneled will be the person who has the less protection out of the whole team. People can make their Dead Hard work, but the one guy who's being tunneled cannot. So is it even worse running Dead Hard now if you can get tunneled and will get tunneled while having it? That's a question I don't have an answer to. Maybe if you understood what I just said, you will have the answer. With that, survivor nerfs are done, and we move on to killer nerfs. There are 3 perks, which also you could have guessed: Scorch Hook, Pain Resonance, Call of Brine, and Overcharge. Let's start with Pain Resonance. This perk has gradually found its way back into the meta. To address this, we have given Scorch Hook Pain Resonance a slight rework. In a nutshell, now Scorch Hook will activate 4 times per game when you hook any survivor on a Scorch Hook for the first time, meaning that the maximum amount this perk can give you is 60% gen regression. That's a 3-fold nerf. Okay, 2-fold nerf, that's still a lot. Like, a lot. And what scares me the most is that the problem has been identified. This perk, for some reason, became extremely popular. Unfortunately, the real reason why it has become so popular is that it is the strongest perk in the entire game to regress gens. Why? Because Eruption, because Ruin previously, because Pop Goes the Weasel previously, all have been nerfed. And apart from Pop, they just don't work anymore. And they are in no way as good as Pain Res. This is why Pain Res is everywhere. Not because it's that super over duper powerful. No, it's a fucking Scorch Hook. It's random as hell. It can fuck you up a bunch. It has good design due to the fact that you have to catch people, you have to actually play the game. There is a problem with the Scorch Hooks being a way to camp people on them. Yes, that's true, but you can easily counter that by making the Scourges move every time a survivor is placed on a Scorch Hook, and never spawning inside of the 32-meter radius from the previous Scorch Hook spawn. Why not? Why not do that? Why do this? This is another killer incentive not to tunnel, which will not work because it's not an incentive. It's a punishment system for those who do tunnel. And people who don't will not get that much value from it, actually. And now we move to Overbrine. Overbrine has become quite the thing. People run it with the new Night perk, people run it by itself, people run it on Oni, people run it on NERFS, people run it on Skull Merchant. Why? Because this combo together is quite the thing. It's quite powerful to hold a 3-gen. And so, what Behavior have done is... No, you could have thought that Behavior would divide those perks and not let them stack. No, that's not what Behavior have done. Actually, they've just hammered them down and killed them. First, Call of Brian. They have reduced the additional regression to 125%. I mean 125% from the previous 200. Why would you even try using this perk? Why? Why would you do it? And with Overcharge, its max potential is now 130%, but the starting regression is now 85%. So, overall, what can I say about these killer changes? Behavior have realized that there is a problem. For some reason, killers run a lot of gen regression perks. They run all perks they can to stop gens from going and regress them even. But the question is, why does this happen? In my opinion, that comes due to the fact that since 6.1 update, a perk of survivors has become much more prominent and people have started using it much better and much more often. That's Prove Thyself. Prove Thyself is one of the most abundant survival perks, one of the most powerful survival perks, because it lets you do the gens in groups faster. This is the reason why gens fly faster now than they did before the 6.1 update. People didn't run that perk so often as they do now. But that's not all. The other thing that has become much more common in games is strong toolboxes. People have gone that way to increase the gen speeds. I myself am guilty of running a build that is centered around toolboxes. Around doing one toolbox, then replenishing its charges, then doing it 2 times more using a certain survivor perk. And well, this is the core problem of why people actually run gen regression perks. You wouldn't need them so bad unless you didn't have gens flying so fast. You usually do, if you do not play a NERFS or a Blight, usually what you have in your game is you find a survivor, then you start a chase, then you finish it, then you hook a survivor, then a gen is done. Or maybe 2 gens are done. In some cases, that's 3 gens done. And you didn't even do that bad in a chase. That just happens due to whatever reason. Due to the fact that people spawn on gens, due to the fact that people duo them, due to the fact that people bring toolboxes, due to the fact that Berham is a terrible map. This is the core problem, and nerfing Overcharge, Call of Brian, and Scorch Hook will not help that problem. It will maybe make it even worse. and people will start tunneling more because there's no way more effective than tunneling to stop the gens from being done. And there are also some killer updates. I won't talk about them so much. The one I am in dispute with myself about is the Hillbilly change, where his best add-ons engravings are essentially nerfed. Why would you do that behavior? Is Billy that good in your opinion, guys? Why would you do that? Why? And also his overhit mechanic has been changed in a way so that if you can sprint with his chain for a long time, if you're good with that and with hitting survivors while doing that, you get punished more than a guy like me who doesn't really know how to play Billy and just goes to survivors up close and does this. I'm sorry for that acting, that wasn't supposed to happen. The emotions blew out of me. So, if there are some Billy mains here watching this video, you could probably correct me, but I feel like this is a weird change that hurts the people that know how to play Billy much more than helps the ones that don't. Then there's Pig, Oni, Nightmare, Executioner, and Clown having their add-ons buffed or nerfed. It's actually buffed unless that's the Clown. Clown has his, how is it called? The pinky finger. Nerfed again, okay, who cares, that's Clown. Finally, the last part I want to talk about is bright light interactions removal. Yeah, that's those mechanics that let you burn hex traps, wraith, nerfs, and race, nurse, and artist birds. Is this thing being gone from the game a good thing? For wraith, definitely. For artist, she didn't care that much. For Hag, yeah, that's a good one, especially if you remember that they actually give a proper disabling mechanic for her traps, which will probably take much more time than conventional run into the trap and run away tactic, or the flashlights again. However, there's one thing I don't like about this change. That's the fact that Nurse will now be impossible to burn out of her blink. Why is this bad? I guess that's obvious actually. Not so many people can pull that out in public matches, but when they can, when I play Nurse, I usually say, wow, dude, you're amazing, 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 nice, so good. Okay, that's fine, I love that. Because Nurse is a powerful killer, she needs a way to be counted. And why would you take that away from the Nurse and not give survivors something in return? Why? Also, that's something you could actually see a lot in competitive play, and as much as I oppose competitive play of this game, you can clearly see there how effective that is against nerfs when people know what they are doing. This should have stayed, or at least get something to replace it. Probably something much more easy to pull, because the nerfs needed that counterplay. That was a good one. And with that said, guys, this is all for the video. That's all. I've said everything I wanted to say. I've now got only one thing to tell. If by any chance any employees of behavior are watching this video of mine, guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? I don't understand it. Probably I'm not the only one. I guess that by the time this video is out already, Otsdarva has talked about that, or Dowsy has said something about that, people that know about the game much more than I do, and they have probably said something similar to what I'm saying here. The changes you are doing, they are good, they are really good. All of this needed to be addressed. The one thing you are doing wrong, probably wrong, is the amount of nerfs you are doing in one patch. A balance was disrupted here. A big time. Only 2 mediocre buffs, alongside with a whole mechanic nerf, with a bunch of perk nerfs, and nothing being buffed in return. A lot of nerfs on the one side of the game, healing, too much of them. This is not the way to go. I love the game, but this, what I'm looking at, this patch note, that's not the way to go. Those ideas of yours, they are good. They are actually in the right direction. But the execution and the amounts of them being stacked into one bowl is just way too much. Now, that said, probably no one from Behavior will ever watch this video or do anything about it if they do. I guess you have just had some fun, as well as I did, recording that. And for now, that's all. Thank you for watching the video. If you liked it, like and subscribe. And now I'm going to eat something. Bye everyone. It was Hydro, bye.